Good morning. Good morning. I am super excited about this morning. I'm attempting something new this morning. Not only am I coming on live at 7 a.m. in the morning, and it looks like I'm a little early, but I'm also attempting to go live on Hey Frankie, on hey guys over here on Instagram. So I'm attempting to go live on both platforms because I do have, hey Chris, I do have a couple people who aren't on Facebook Live. Hey Erica. So I'm attempting to do both. So if you see me looking at both, please forgive me. I'm trying it. This is the first day. Can I tell you a funny story real quick to get this started? I set several alarms, and guess what? I didn't hear any of them. I thank God for my husband always, but I really thank God for him today. His alarm clock is what woke me up. Hey, Alicia. So, good morning, guys. Let me introduce myself. I'm Shavetta Belton. I'm also your professional and life coach, known by others as your salon success coach. I'm also the owner of Divine Oasis Salon and Faith Plus Works equals success and ShavettaBelton.com. So, guys, listen, this has been nerve wracking for me to come back on live, and everybody goes, hey, Carisha, hey, Javon, hey, Wanda, hey, Mandisa, Tamisha, trying to go through all the names. Hey, Keisha over here on Instagram and Beauty Branding, all everybody that's on Instagram as well. Hey Stacy, guys, thank you for joining in. I do not count it robbery that you decided to spend your morning with me. So if we can take a minute to do a checklist of everything. I did not tell you to have stuff this morning, but something tells me I got some coffee drinkers in the house and people who prepare their morning. So for me, I have my coffee cup. I don't really do coffee all the time, but I got tea in my cup. So here's my tea for this journey. Hey Denise, hey Jocelyn. So guys, listen, I'm gonna jump right in because I'm not gonna hold up your whole morning, but I will be here every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. This morning, hey Yolanda, this morning, I want to talk to you guys about my journey to healing. I wasn't quite sure what God would have me to talk about because He gave me this back in October. And let's just be honest for a minute. I was scared. I was scared and I wasn't quite ready. Hey, Tanisha. Hey, Denise. Hey, Yolanda. So, for me, I was scared. He gave me this back in October when he gave me Faith Plus Works equals success. And guys, anytime that he gives you something, you should just go with it. Well, I just didn't feel like I was ready. And I would love to say, I don't know what stole my voice. I don't know what had me not wanting to talk, not wanting to go live, not wanting to do things. But to be honest, I allowed fear to keep me from there. I felt like I was, hey, Miss Lynn, I felt, I was scared. I was scared and I didn't understand why I was scared. But the truth is, sometimes you got to live in your truth. And the truth was, at some point in this journey, I felt like that I couldn't do it anymore. I felt like I had lost it and my time was up. Hey, Candace. And that for me was hard. But I'm going to take a break real quick to make you laugh. When I tell you I wanted to be up at 5 this morning, 5:50 this morning, so I could be like, ready, ready. Hey, Takori, ready, ready for y'all. I really wanted to be up at 5:50 and 5:50 turned to 6:40. Can you talk about a rush to get here and show up on time? But I thank God for his presence. And I thank God for each one of y'all. So on this journey to healing, it has been a journey. When I first came and started this journey, my journey here, hey Mike, was, hey Corinne, my journey to healing when I first set out on it was because I was going to be healed from everything everyone had done to me. I got to let this go. I got to get over this. I got to, and sometimes let's just be honest, you sit talking about how dare they do you like this. I don't know what I did wrong. And It's always being healed from somebody else or something else. Well, let me tell y'all, I'm going to get real close because I don't want you to miss it. My healing, yeah, we went through letting some things go. But this healing process from 2018 and 2019 was all about me healing for me. It wasn't about everybody else. You go through moments where you go through moments of forgiveness. Hey, Joy. Hey, Tanji. Hey, Jennifer. It's moments you go through the healing from other things. Please forgive me. Healing from other things. But honestly, it was internal work that had to be done with me. And in that place is where it was long and it was hard and it was rough. It wasn't easy, guys. It wasn't pretty most of the time, but it was necessary. So during the course of that time, I'll never forget when I first started, it was like a kid just reaching for stuff, a kid just wandering, trying to find their way. I went to conferences. I went to different seminars. I was sitting at, I was hungry. I was hungry for my next. I was hungry to get where I needed to be. I was hungry to find my way. And during the process, I realized if I would have just sat still, God would have sent me where I needed to go. And it really didn't have to be that painful to get there. But in that place, I just was searching, guys. I was wondering. Every conference that came up that looked like it would help me in business, I was there. Now, the beautiful part is God does not allow you to waste time. And when I say that, that means those conferences that I sat in, hey, Rashonda, hey, Felicia, those conferences that I sat in were very, very important to me. It was very beneficial for my growth as a Christian, as a businesswoman, and for my next. So I will never forget sitting in one. And it was the Visibility is Power conference, Rashonda Pratt's conference. And that conference for me was pivotal. I was sitting in that conference and I kept seeing and feeling like a shift was coming and a move was coming. And so I'm sitting there and all I could see was a basketball player with a ball in their hand. Hey, Lashandra. Hey, Amber, pivoting back and forth. It was a pivot motion. And in this pivot motion, I realized that I was seeing, myself in the shift of life and not knowing which way to throw the ball. Guys, I know nothing about basketball. When I say nothing, I know nothing about basketball. But what I realized was I was in a big shift of my life. It was a pivotal point, and it was almost like I had an option because, they have an option on the court to throw the ball to whoever they wanted to. But it scared me. And so at the end of this conference, you had the ability to ask the question. So, of course, I raised my hand and I asked the question, what do you do in the pivot of life? And at that point, I felt grieved about a lot of stuff. I felt worried about a lot of stuff. But Bishop Benjamin said this whole conference when he was speaking, sometimes you have to grieve fast and move on. Grieve fast and move on. Hey, Victoria. Hey, Niles. So on Instagram, so guys, I was like, grieve hard, grieve fast, and move on. Because it's not saying that you can't be sad about a failure or something that didn't work in your business or didn't work in your life. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Angel. Nobody ever said that because honestly, it happens. You can grieve a friendship that didn't last. You can grieve your business not working. You can grieve, the loss of a loved. These are all the things. It's so many things that you can grieve in that place. Nobody's saying that you can't grieve, and some grief take longer. However, at that moment, we were talking about business. So when I say this, I'm speaking along the lines of my business at that time. So it was grieve hard, grieve fast, move forward. And I was like, but wait, but it took my breath. And so several other people, hey, Kelly on Instagram. So it was so many people. Hey, Kenya. So it was so many people that poured into me because they went around the speakers and spoke. And the last one I remember from Erica. And Erica said to me, whatever it is has a chain around your ankle. And it has something, you had to fight. You had to fight to get the words out. It has a hold on you. She said, in order for you to even speak it, you had to fight to get the words out. And I said, she said, but you're going to have to use faith. And I was looking at her like, you don't know? I know everything about faith. And she looked back and I had to humble myself. How many situations you sit in that could be great for you, but you don't realize that you ain't humble enough to receive what you're supposed to receive because you feel like you got it together. Well, it was one of those moments for me. And when I say, hey, Regina, when I tell you Jesus checked me, he checked me real hard. You hear me? Because at that very moment, you see where you are now. I gave her a glimpse of where you going. So then I had to humble myself. And then as soon as I had that moment of humbling, my posture changed. My outer posture, my shoulders dropped. Everything like relaxed. And she said a different level of faith. And I said, she said, yeah, the one thing you love the most, you may have to let go. It's like, and I knew what she was talking about. I knew exactly what she was talking about. At that very moment, it wasn't that I had to walk away from my salon. It wasn't that I had to walk away from my clients, but I had to adjust things in my business. So I'm sobbing. And at the end, I'm walking out and I go to hug Ro, and Ro said, was this helpful? And I looked at Ro and I was like, no, girl, I done cried more than I cried before I got here. And she was like, oh. I said, no, I'm just kidding. I said it was very helpful, but it was very real. See, God put me in a room full of people who were at different levels, way different levels than I was at, teaching me. But then it was people who, they didn't know me. They weren't coddling me. They weren't being sweet to me. Some knew me. They didn't know me like that. All they knew was they wanted me to have better. So I say that to say, surround yourself by people who want to see you do different, by people who's going to push you to your next, And so it wasn't any coddling, Shavetta. It wasn't even trying to talk to her. It was real. And so in that very moment, she says to me, she says, your purpose is coming from your pain. And I said, I knew it. So when I rode down the road and I'm riding back to the salon and I'm crying because I'm full. I'm crying because reality has set in. You hear me? That life for me is shifting. But the scary part is, I'm going to get close again because I don't want y'all to miss this. The scary part was, Vania, I don't remember. The scary part is, y'all, I ain't know what my next look like. I'm riding down this road knowing something is coming, but I don't know what it is. I have no clue, right? And I'm sitting before you today without all the puzzle pieces. All I have is enough faith to believe that he's guiding me to my next, that I'm headed to my next, and I'm being obedient, and I'm listening. And I'm waiting for him to tell me, shift this way, go that way. Hey, Brittany, go this way, go that way. So as I'm riding back to the salon, right? I get to the salon, 2 people are still there. If I'm not mistaken, it was Badu and Carisha. It was at the end of a Saturday. And I'm sitting there sobbing. When I say sobbing, I'm sobbing. And they're like, so the conference was good? I was like, yeah, it's some real stuff. And at that moment, I couldn't put in words what my feelings were. But at that very moment, I realized a shift was coming. As I walk out of Badu's suite and walk down the hall, I clearly heard God say, what if you're the reason your ship is about to sink? And I sobbed. And at that very moment, I realized sometimes you can think that it's everybody else. But in all actuality, it could be you. And if at the end of the day, Other people's life depend on you listening to God, depends on you making sound decisions, making sure that you have a clear mind. Then you got to make sure that you're in proper place and you have your mind set on him. And you have to make sure that it ain't got to be perfect, but you got to seek him. So at that very moment, I knew a shift was coming, because even though I'm not their pastor, I'm not their boss, I only actually have one commission stylist under me now in my house. Good morning, Tam. Good morning, Julie. I only have one commission stylist. And to be honest, for the most part, I allow her to run her area as a booth renting stylist. And I know for some business owners, you're like, what the world? Well, the thing is, I see where she's going. So at this point, I've chosen to pour into her in a way that will allow her to know how to run business once she gets in there. But we have a clear understanding of how things work. But at the end of the day, all of those stylists that's under me, they're business owners. And they're expecting me to handle my business correctly so that when they walk in that building, every morning the lights cut on, the air works, the water is running so that they can conduct business. They expect me to be in line with what God has shown me for Divine Oasis so that their businesses can grow and their businesses can prosper. Because let's just be honest, they have just as much weight to carry because they have their bills to pay. They have to show up for their clients. They have to be ready for their clients. You know, guys, through this journey, you'll hear me go back to being a salon owner. And that's not my only job, but honestly, that's one of my main jobs. So my analogies on Wednesdays may go back to that, but I offer to you to take from that. Don't just hear salon owner and think you can't use it. Let me tell you, business is business. People are people. And your heart to your people, it doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're in the marketplace, whether you're in the church, whether you're on the street, your heart has to be turned towards God regardless in order to make this thing work. So at that moment when he said, maybe it's you that's holding your ship back, that thing floored me. That Monday or Tuesday, he made it clear that I had to shift out of my suite and move back to the front of my salon. I heard one name. Hey, Howie, it's been a minute, buddy. How you doing? So I heard one name. And I asked the person, do you want to move to the suite? Oh, no. A lot of pushback came from that move. But in that pushback, I had to go ahead and still move up front. So nobody, I want to think for 3 weeks was in my suite, not even myself. And at that very moment, it was crazy because moving up front brought life back to me in a sense. It brought back something to me that I didn't know I missed, being back in the room. And it was good for me. My clients only kicked a little dust because they was like, nah, chick, you moving up front. That means you about to move out the door. And I was like, hold tight. I'm moving, but I don't know when. So please don't leave me before I leave you, because, I'll make sure you taken care of. But let's just be honest. If you leave me before I leave you, I'm going to be broke. Not really. God would have took care of me. However, we got to make sure. Hey, Stacy, how are you? Y'all, Stacy was my old boss at Blue Cross Blue Shield. So listen, guys, I had to be real. I'm like, y'all don't leave me. I promise y'all going to be taken care of if I leave. But hey, don't you leave me before I leave you. So at that very moment, life was real. So I moved up front, and I'm going to tell you guys, I laugh so much being up front. Yeah, I laugh. You know, Denise Nicole Artistry is up front at Divine Oasis. That's where her business is located. And let me tell you something. That chick there keeps me laughing. So, you know, sometimes I want to hide behind my towel, but Denise has brought laughter back in a different way. Hey, Anita. So at that moment, I moved up front, but I start seeing life shift. I start seeing pressure feel a lot different for me. I don't know exactly how that thing looked. You understand what I'm saying? I can't put in words what happened, but in my obedience, I found joy. In my obedience, I found happiness. I miss my sweet mate, my partner right across the hall from me. God knows, because we used to give each other an eye, and that eye may have known, you know, pray for me, you know, but being out front, you know, that eye could have been make me laugh. That I mean, girl, come get this client, because she about to get it. She acting up today. That's transparency. However, at the end of the day, God knew what I needed, but it wasn't just about me. In that shift of obedience, it wasn't just about me. Hey Cheryl, it had nothing to do. It wasn't all about me. It was about the person who moved in that room. The person who also, I wanted to choke her because I was like, you got to stop living in fear. That is not the way to, then I forgot, chick, you did too. But that's what I'm good at. I'm good at pushing everybody. Pushing everybody off that ledge. But I promise you, I'm on the edge talking about, girl, I don't know. I don't know if I can. But at that very moment, to be honest, somebody had to push me, so I push in the same in the same respect. Y'all, Denise said I can bring the laughter to your salon too. Book me. Listen, now she can come visit y'all, but she been riding with me since the day the doors open. I think it was like a couple months after the doors were open. She can't leave us. Now she can come visit y'all, but she can't leave us. I'm holding tight. I'm holding tight. Jesus, no. So listen, guys. So at that very moment, I realized it was very important. And I'm going to tell you, the person who moved in that room, and the reason I keep saying this person and that person is honestly because I've learned that just because I know their business and I'm proud of their business, it's not my business to share their business, not unless I have permission. That's big because sometimes we get caught up in everybody's success and their happiness. And so our first thought is, I want to share it because I'm proud of you. But honestly, who said it was yours to share? Who said they didn't want to go live to express where they've been and where God has taken them? You have to realize sometimes you can't rob people of their story. You can't rob people of their victory. You can't rob people of their success story. So the person that moved in the room fought me tooth and nail. She went through, did you ask everybody? Did you check in with everybody? Gave me the rundown. And then she finally said, I'm going to the back and I'm going to ask her salon sister how this worked out for her. I said, I'm sick of you. Go to the back. Ask her. Ask her how it worked out for her. You ask her. Her salon sister said, you think I moved because I wanted to move? I moved because she made me move. I was fine where I was and she could have left me where I was. And that day she realized, if I see it in you, I'm going to push you to it. I'm going to push you to it. Not because I have to, but because it's something in me. Sometimes I don't want to bother people. Hey, Kimberly. Sometimes, hey, Lavette. Sometimes I don't want to bother people. Sometimes I'm okay with just being all right. But that thing in me pushed me. And then it pushed me to push you. It's not because I really just really want to aggravate you. It's not. Because sometimes I know that's aggravating. And I don't always want to be the aggravating one. Because I know it's aggravating. I know it's hard to have somebody in your face. Good one, Badu. Badu said mold or mildew, baby. It's either you gonna sit there and mold. Or mildew, and so it's like, so so when that shift happened, it was unbelievable to me because I was happy. I found joy. Some days was still hard to move. Come on, Denise, you got to do it, right? Some days it was hard to move to come in because honestly, guys, I love doing hair, but I love the people more. And I know for some of y'all like, what? So if I go to be an educator on a stage, I'm doing it because I love the people. If I go to educate in a class, I'm going to do it because I love the people. So when I change my whole books on Style Seat, everybody's like, you missing out. Things are happening. I'm like, no, but it's time for me to do what I love, but also for the people I love doing it for. Because if I continue to do it because I have to do it, it starts to feel like a job. And that's not where I want to be. I want to be effective. So when my client has a loss, so when my client has life-shifting measures, I can actually deal with that. I can actually be with them. And so the ones that God sent me are the ones I'm supposed to have. Hey, Lori. So at the end of the day, I had to be obedient in that. So moving forward, beyond that point, I was still searching. Okay? I was still searching. I moved to the front. I was still searching, trying to figure out who I was in Christ and where he wanted me to go and what he wanted me to do. And I just felt like I wasn't making it. You hear me? Let's just be honest. I had joined the prayer team at church. I was an usher. I was looking to do some other stuff. And I just felt like I was pulling my hair out. Because I was like, God, where you want me to go? What you want me to do? Who you want me to be? Da, 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 da. I had no clue. I'm in the midst of an identity crisis and didn't even know it. But I still hadn't gone to the Father, the person who gave me identity from the beginning. I still had yet to go to him. I'm in my flesh trying to figure my way through. So I'm going and I'm searching because I'm in search of who Shavetta is. And I end up in Augusta, Georgia at the Glam Activate Conference. And I told nobody. I told nobody because I didn't want nobody to be there. I didn't want to go with anybody. I just wanted to go and be free. So I get to Augusta. So first I see it. I'm like, why does this lady keep showing up on my Instagram stories? Driving me bananas. Why is this lady? Who is this lady? And her name is Tiffany Morey. And she just kept showing up. And I was like, why is she showing up? Why is she showing up? And this Glam Activate conference kept showing up. So I said, well, Lord, evidently I'm supposed to go. I checked on the prices of tickets. I said, God, if it's meant to be, any wives online, you know what I'm about to say. If it's meant to be, God, my husband will be okay with me going. So I call him and I asked him. He was like, sure. It happened so quick, it took my breath away because he had been gone on the road all that week. So that meant when I left on Friday, we would pass each other on the interstate, literally. He said, yes, fine. I said, well, next step is my clients. If I can move my clients, perfect. So move my clients. They're like, sure, Shavetta, whatever you need. Hindsight, standing today, I realized they saw what I was depleted. They saw I needed something because when I tell you those those yeses came in so quick. Yes, Shavetta, whatever you need. It was that very moment of please. And at that moment I was so stuck that I didn't. Hey Marquita, hey Nikki. I didn't realize that everybody saw what I was going through. And it was visible to the eye. I was, as Pastor was preaching, and And everybody know, I believe, that I go to the Brook. But Pastor was preaching, and he kept saying, this course of life that you're going through, you know, you're looking crazy to some people. I know I'm not saying it verbatim, but I didn't realize at that very moment I was looking fool to a lot of people because I wasn't looking like myself. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, Sarah. So at that very moment, they said yes so quick. I got out of there on that Friday and I got down to Augusta. Hey, Tyreek, got down to Augusta. And if you know me, I generally like people with me. I come from a big family, so it's something about having a lot of people with me to make me feel comfortable, to make me feel good. So I always feel like I gotta have a lot of people with me. But in this season, hey Anna, what I realized is everybody can't go everywhere with you, whether you want them to or not. Some journeys you have to do alone for where he's taking you. Hey, Mama Thomasina. So I hopped in the car and I went to Augusta. At that very moment, that trip for me was because I was seeking and I just really wanted to get there. And I didn't want to go and not have my eye focused on him, be prejudged or anything. Because honestly, I didn't know what I was getting into. And honestly, can we be honest? Sometimes we don't want people to see us in our nakedest form because we feel like we're supposed to have it all together. We feel like we're supposed to always. I didn't. I'm sorry, niece. You know, we sometimes don't want people to see us in that light. Well, guess what? I get down to Augusta. We're waiting outside. We're praying. And then we go in. So we go in for church service. And they're getting the atmosphere of worship set. And we're worshiping. And I'm finally like, and I'm showing you how I look. Eyes open. I'm just, yes, God, thank you. You know. And I open my eyes. And all I hear is, hey, girl. I said, what? I've already told the person this story, so I can tell it now. I was like, why is she here? Why is she here? Why is she not in Columbia, South Carolina? Why is she here? Why? This was for me. Me. Selfish. Selfish? Yeah. Why is she here? And he politely said it was a quick rebuttal. You here for me or you here for her? And baby, because he liked to throat check me like that. Baby, all I could say was, oh. Because if you need me and you need me for real, it doesn't matter who's around. It doesn't matter who's around. If you hungry enough and you desperate enough and you need me that bad, it don't matter who's around. So are you here for me? Hey, Keisha. Are you here for me? Are you here for her? Hey, Terry, Robin. And I said, oh, my God. That posture changed. That posture changed quick. Because guess what? In that very moment, it didn't matter who was in the room, just as long as he was there. It didn't matter. Hey, Chrissy. So that course of that day was that evening was something else. So we're going to go to the next day and at the end of this conference. Prophetess Moyer comes in. She said, y'all know how this works. Get the atmosphere ready for worship. So we can activate. And activate your gifts and get you ready. And as this is happening, this woman of God stopped and said, "There's no activation that can happen on top of the amount of deliverance that is needed in this room." And I said, oh, goodness. My heart stopped because I had just finished going through a place of deliverance. And guys, in that place, it's not pretty. In that place, it does not feel well. So, but I was so hungry that I was like, let's see what you throwing out, sis. Make sure I done got everything I needed. And in all actuality, I hadn't. So when she started to pray and started the lines or whatever for deliverance, I got where I needed to be and my posture was proper. And I'm going to tell you, that day, life for me shifted. Ooh, it shifted. I came back to Columbia crying again, but it was so many breakthroughs in that place. 2 days in Augusta with him was shifting my life. But the journey wasn't over. That was August of 2019. I'm telling you, 2019 was the year of some serious stuff for me. Some places that I didn't want to go. Some things I didn't want to do. Some things I signed up for and didn't know that I was going to get what I needed to get like that. So August came and August went, and I still was very unsure. By this point, I'm not on the prayer team at my church. I set myself down. Sometimes we got to know when to sit ourselves down. It ain't all about working in a ministry, because you're not effective if you're not in a proper place to work. If that's not where, and better yet, if that's not where he placed you, sometimes you need to sit down. In that situation, that wasn't it. It was just Shavetta wasn't healed. So Shavetta didn't need to show up to work in that ministry. And to be honest, I didn't even usher as much at the time. Because if you know me, you know that ministry is one of the ministries that I love and is my heart. I've been on that ministry team for, I think it's 7 years now. 7 years, 6.5, 7 years since I've been at the church. That is my ministry. That is the one I love. But at that very moment, I had to stop for a minute. Because even in all of that, when I sat down from the prayer team, it was because I was out of order. And I had to realize, sis, you out of order. Sit yourself down. Because at that very moment, sometimes we don't realize we stay in things. And we sinning, and we ain't right. And I'm not saying sinning as far as doing things out in this world just wrong. But what I'm saying is, you speaking something out of your mouth you shouldn't speak. Your posture is out of order. You can't work effectively like that. So by this point, I'm not ushering as much. And I took myself clean off the prayer team. And I'm looking real crazy. Because by this moment, everybody knows I sit in a certain place at the church. And it's because it's comfortable. At first it wasn't. Now it's comfortable. And by this point, I'm sporadically just sitting wherever. Because at this moment, I'm so unclear. But I knew where I needed to be. I knew where I needed to be, which was in that house, you know. And even in the course of that, God even said to me, he said at work, because I think when I was moving up front, I was going to move. Carisha at the time was sitting in one of the bigger stations. And I said, oh, you got to move, you know, because I needed space. And God said, stop trying to make temporary seats in permanent places. And I said, throw check. So I moved myself right over there to that little station on the corner, the smaller station. Literally, the station is just smaller, you know. And some of us are so busy trying to make permanent seats in temporary places. Even in the house. Some of us are made to be in the house. Some of us are made to be at the church waiting on the people, but some of us are made for the marketplace. Some of us are made to go out and send the people back. All of us have positions. All of us have places. And we sit sometimes and we get caught up in, and it's not always because you'll hear it. I want the mic because I want to preach next. No, that's not always it. It's not just to preach or to be right there at the top. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just, you just want to be there because when they come and they come to the altar, I want to pray for them. When they come this place, I want to do this. Everybody's not made to stay in the house. So even in that, stop trying to make permanent seats in temporary places. He sends you a covering. So in order for you to be effective in the marketplace, you have to go to the house. You go to whatever house, however that looks for you. For me, it's my church, the Brook. Hey, Leroy. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, Amanda. It's my church. So I go to the house and I lay under my shepherds. I eat off their plate. But I know my job is to go back out and share everything that he has given me with the world. But you got to know your place. You got to know what you're made for. That doesn't mean you won't ever do any work in the church. That doesn't mean you won't ever do anything there. But don't get it confused on what he's giving you. And honestly, to be honest, your assignment may shift. So at the end of the day, don't forget that. Don't lose sight of that. And don't think that you're not effective for the kingdom because you don't have a permanent position in the house. Because we all have kingdom assignments and we all have a job to do. So I get there. August is done. September, I enroll into EBG's Legends program. And this program was a weekend long program. It was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was pivotal. And mind you, through this time, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I was going through counseling. I was going to my therapist. I was sitting real good on her seat. And through that process, it was so many things that came to light for me. And during the course of this journey with A Sip of Morning Motivation, we're going to talk about all that stuff. We're going to talk about all of that good stuff. But in that journey, that weekend was pivotal for me. I lost one of my spiritual mothers that weekend. It was a lot that happened that weekend, and I was still going through the process of healing, and things were just looking crazy, y'all. I realized that more than likely, I was looking more crazy to people than people were looking crazy to me, because I was moving so, I can't even put it into words how I was moving, because at this point, strategic moving had went out the window, because I realized that's how I was strategically trying to move through life. And that's not how, and it wasn't working because I wasn't really moving the way I should have been moving. My heart posture, I'm moving strategic because I'm trying not to get hurt. I'm moving strategic because I'm trying not to mess up. I'm moving strategic because, so that was my posture, just moving and trying to maneuver. Hey, Candy. Hey, Crystal. Maneuver a certain way. Hey, Sherry. Move. Hey, Michelle. A certain way through life, realizing that you can't strategically move through things, and you can't strategically love people a certain way so then they love you back that way, then you can manage your hurt. How many of us live like that? A lot of us live strategically so we won't get hurt in the process, when that's not truly loving people the way they should be loved. And listen, I don't want him to, I want Jesus to love me all day, every day, every way. And so I don't want him to strategically love me, but that's how I'm strategically moving. But that weekend, so much came to light for me. And it was breathtaking. It was freeing. And it was like, oh, I'm getting somewhere. Well, then they have this 90-day program called Leaders, and I entered Leaders, and that was the day I really entered into dealing with all my stuff and really looking at why Shavetta show up in places the way she shows up. Why does Shavetta do things the way Shavetta do things? Why does Shavetta run her business the way Shavetta run her business? Why does Shavetta show up in relationships the way she show up in relationships? Why does Shavetta allow things to happen the way they happen? Why is Shavetta the kind of wife Shavetta is? Why is Shavetta the kind of mother she is? Why is Shavetta the kind of business owner she is? Those moments. Hey Cheryl, hey Kimberly, hey Dee, hey Avril. So the crazy part is that 90 days ended the first weekend of January and my life was changed. But through the course of that journey, I had never had a word for the year. I didn't really do it. Never heard anybody say it, and it was one morning. Hey guys over here on Instagram World, I had never thought to have a word for the year. So I'm getting my nails done, and I have my AirPods in my ear. Y'all can't find my AirPods. Side note, sidebar. I'm sorry. Um, and I had my phone propped up on the nail station, which generally never happens. And my niece calls in, and Kia says to me, she says, we're just talking. And I said, Zakia, it was one of those moments, one of those mornings. And I called and I was like, Zakia, so listen, we were just talking about how we show up for people and how we're there and how sometimes we pour for an empty cup because we've always been taught to show up. You show up, you do, you do, you do. It doesn't matter how you feel. You worry about you later. They need you, show up. You go, be there. So it's like, okay, yeah, show up. And then she said, we don't realize how we show up for people. And we forget that we don't have enough to give. But we've always been taught to show up. And the first thought that came to my mind was the day I was very mad at my mom. My mom has been gone now 3 years. And my mom at that time was on oxygen. And so she's on her oxygen, right? And I call and her breathing is delayed. And I'm like, Mom, where are you? I'm at the school. You at the school? Who are you there with? Mama had her girls. Outside of her daughters, she had girls she cared for. So she's caring for this woman. And it's not the woman. The woman's at home because couldn't take her daughter. So my mom's taking her daughter, but you're running low on oxygen. But you out here caring for somebody else and you don't have an extra tank. That was an issue for us. She never carried enough tanks to make us feel good about it. But this child needed to be in school. And so my mom, I think was, she needs me, so I need to be there. But all I could think in my mind was, chick, if you stop breathing, you're not going to be there for us or her. And so when we were having that conversation, I was like, psh. It was that moment that I realized we put ourselves in some situations where we show up for people and we show up over and over again. And it doesn't matter if we're low on oxygen. It doesn't matter if we're low on love. It doesn't matter if we're low on anything, but we keep showing up. So as we keep showing up for them, we're getting further and further underneath. And guess what? If you tap out right here, you can't do nothing for them here. And half of the time, they get here and they don't remember you. It's not about remembering you, but what I'm saying is you're depleted. And if you don't have anybody to give you anything back, then what good are you? What purpose have you served? So when I was like, that's right. And so I'm going, like, it was a good morning. It started off real good, y'all. So she was like, what's your word? I said, my word? What word? She was like, my word was, I can't remember what her word was. And once again, that's her thing. Whatever her word was, she said, that's my word. Exactly, niece. So right there, I can't remember what her word was, but that's her word. And I was like, well, my word for 2020, because this is November, y'all. This is November, almost in December. I was like, my word for 2020 is freedom. And I saw her because we were on FaceTime and she took a seat back and she said, why I can't start 2019? Y'all, we waiting. We waiting to do some stuff. We waiting to move into some stuff and we waiting. When, hey, winner, at the end of the day, why not right now? If he say so, why not right now? Why are we waiting? If he said so, why are we waiting? I'm going to say that one more time. If he said so, why are we waiting? Because sometimes we get so excited we move out of freedom. We move, I see freedom, sorry. We move out of his will because we get excited. However, if he said so, why not right now? So I was like, you right, girl. 2019, the end of 2019, 2020, my word is freedom. And I said it with so much conviction because y'all, let me tell you something. I was looking for freedom. Freedom, right? So I said it. My nail appointment done. I feel so good. Like I feel so light. I get in the car and it's time for my mentor call from the leadership program. So I get my mentor call. My mentor's on the phone with me. And we had a checklist of things to do. And I'm very vague about the program, guys, because I'm sure I'm going to tell you about it. And I'm sure I'm going to want several of you guys to enroll in it because it was pivotal for me. And the part of the process is not knowing every part of the process when it comes to that program. So I'm very vague. So I get in the car and I'm on this call and I had some things to get done and I'm killing the game in places. Boom, boom. Yeah. But I'm not killing the game when it comes to personal health. And that was one of my goals I set for myself, was to work out and lose weight. And my mentor at that very moment, it was like I was here. As a matter of fact, look, this balloon is right here. Oh, I was here. And then I was like, deep, sucked the air out of me. I was sobbing on the phone because she said, Shavetta, if you don't complete this task, what does that mean? Shavetta, if you don't get this done, which was my personal health, my exercise, and my doing better, if you don't get that done, what happens? Y'all, my response to her was, I guess I won't be healthy. Oh, why was that my response? Why did I say that? When I say she got me, and I can't say everything she said to me, but when she said it to me, she said, what about the fact that you've worked to build all this? Hey, guys on Instagram, I'm sorry. What about the fact that you've built all of this and you won't be living to see it? You want to talk about, I sat back and I was like, and at that very moment, hey, Kevin, hey, Monica, Tara, Brittany, at that very moment, I broke out in tears. And this is the first time I told this part of the story without getting teary-eyed. And I realized, hey, Erica, at that very moment, I didn't even love myself to show up enough for myself. I'm sitting here building stuff that I might not even be able to see. But the only thing I could think about was, I just won't be healthy enough. Because I guess I'm assuming I just knew I was going to be here, right? Yeah, no. So at that very moment, it was a reality check. And she said, so how you going to show up? I said, well, I hate going to the gym. So what I'll do is do a video every time I go. Because by this point, the head roll had come in because I'm mad. I'm right here. And I said, I guess I'll record myself every time I'm going to the gym because I hate to go. So I'm going to record myself every time I go saying how much I hate being here, but I'm here. She said, fine, that works for me. I said, fine. Hung up the phone. And those recordings start being a thing for our group. So I would send it, yeah, I'm working out, right? And it was helping me get momentum. It was helping me get to a place. So by this point, I'm going to the gym and I'm feeling good. But so I'm leaving that conference call and I'm going to my therapist. Y'all, I had a question and I knew I was going to get told off by that question. I asked my therapist anyway. I asked her the question. I asked her and she said, we doing this again? And what the question was about, and I'm going to sum it up because I've held y'all almost an hour, but I'm going to sum it up right here. The question was along the lines of the same questions I've been asking the whole time. You know, what if I can't do this? What if this happens? What if da-da-da? And she said, we doing this again? So I knew it wasn't going to be a soft punch. But guys, once I left that office and I went through each course of those conversations through that day, I cannot describe to you what the Lord allowed happen in my life that day. And I remember the way it felt. So I could only associate it with what happened in the spiritual realm. He allowed me to feel in the natural. It felt like my heart exploded, and I just cried uncontrollably. But I realized at that moment, God had given me a different level of freedom in Him. And so those conversations were needed. It was a lot. So me telling you, I've shrunk it down so much. But in that moment, God gave me a freedom that I had never felt. And that thing for me was breathtaking and liberating. And I was so happy. And so things start looking different. I start waking up different. I start waking up in a totally different light and in a totally different place. Hey, Key. Hey, Evelyn. Hey, Pam. Guys, and it was amazing. The freedom in God is just something different. Freedom in Him makes you show up different. Hey, Q. Hey, Mo. Hey, Kurt. So a freedom in Him makes you show up different. It makes you live your life different. But it was something else. It was something. It was amazing. And hey, Misty, I don't want to abruptly end our talk, but I also know, hey, Denise, that you guys are getting ready for work. Hey, Jarrell, and getting your day started. And some of you all actually may be walking in the office now. First, on Wednesday morning, y'all show up with y'all cups, because I know y'all drink coffee, right? Show up with your cups. And let me know. You can put in the comment box. Let me know. Let me know what you're sipping on that morning. Whether it's tea, whether it's, I think, like, some people are doing keto, so there's certain things you can and cannot drink. I know some people are doing the ISO teas to lose weight. None of this is a plug for any of these businesses that I'm not a part of. But y'all, let me know what you have in your cups first thing in the morning. So when y'all log on, I'll let you know I got my tea, because 9 times out of 10 it's tea. Hey, Bree. And the other part, y'all, so make sure you come there. The other part is, you want us to wear our shirts too? Hey, wear your shirts. If you got a Faith Plus Works coffee mug, you can drink out of that too. However, come open and come ready. I'll be here every Wednesday morning. However, this week, the rest of this week, think about your heart posture. Think about taking a real good look at yourself in the mirror. Let's just be real with ourselves. Let's just be real with this process. Because remember, healing starts within. Next week, we'll go over some other healing things that I had to go through as a daughter, a friend, a mother, a wife. Yeah. And asking some hard questions, guys. Asking some hard questions. Asking some real hard questions. So I'm going to say to you guys this week, do a mirror check. Do a mirror check. Let's not just always point fingers. You did that to me. This is why I did that. This is why I showed up like that. This is why no, do a mirror check. Because a lot of times you show up the way you show up because you're trying to keep yourself from being hurt. You show up the way you show up because you're bruised and battered somewhere else. Sometimes you show up that way because it's insecurities. Sometimes you show up that way because you're hurt. Sometimes you show up in different ways because it's something inside of you. Sometimes. Now other times, some other times it is what it is. But you know for a fact when you do a mirror check that your posture is proper. Guys, I also want, if at all possible, Instagram, y'all are going to go off on me in about 20 seconds. So if you don't get all this, if you can head over to Facebook to hear the last part, I'll try to do a quick snippet. Also, guys, I do meditation. And so I kind of want to hear about your meditation routines as well. So if you guys could let me know, put in the comment box or in my inbox on each place, what your meditation routine is, if you have one. And a lot of people get confused with the meditation routine. They're like, well, you're like, no, everybody is meditation comes in different forms, in different ways, different, different, I'm sorry, y'all. Different religions and different places do things differently. However, hey Nicola, for I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. However, different places do them differently. But I want to hear about your meditation routine. If you have one, that's something we'll be talking about. But next week, remember, we'll be meeting here at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I am Shavetta Belton. Oh, before I go, and guys, in the comment box so she can see it, please tell my big sister Damia that lives in California, happy birthday. Did not realize that I was launching a sip of morning motivation on her birthday. Psh, best birthday gift she could have ever had. She's going to be like, it wasn't about me, it's about you. However, if y'all could wish her a happy birthday, if you know her, swing over to her page, tell her happy birthday. If you don't, please put it in the comment box. Tell her happy birthday. Guys, listen, my inbox is open. If you have any questions, you have any comments, you want to talk, you want to, you just have anything you need from me. Hey, Cece. Hey, Natalie. You can go in my inbox. You can go in the comment box. I'm going to read the comments and try to respond. But guys, I thank you for showing up this morning. I realize you could have watched anybody else live. You could have been with anybody else, but you chose to spend your Wednesday morning with me. And I am honored that you did. Once again, guys, so little checklist for you. Make sure you have your coffee mug next Wednesday. Make sure you do a mirror check this week. Let's do some real mirror checks. And if when you look in that mirror, you see some things that need to be checked, you see some things you need to work out, I want you to do so. And it doesn't have to happen overnight. We think these changes all the time have to happen right away. Yeah, nah. Some things take time. And remember, guys, next week we'll be talking about the healing journey as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a business owner. Guys, I'm excited. And I thank you. Well, Denise, put your tea in your Yeti and show up, girl. So, guys, please, I will see you next Wednesday. I'm excited about our next together. I'm excited about your next on your journey by yourself and just your next in life, period, in whichever place it is. And never count your next as being small because it may not look like the man next to you. Keep your blinders on. Stay focused on your next and move forward into your next. Guys, I love you all. I'm Shavetta Belton, your professional and life coach, your salon success coach as well. I love you guys and I appreciate you for spending your morning with me. If you take any quotes, if you take anything from this and use it, please use the hashtag take a sip of this morning motivation. Guys, that is our hashtag that we use for any quotes. If you're going to share the video, please do. Make sure you put hashtag take a sip of this morning motivation. I thank you guys. I hope you're motivated, inspired, and ready for this week. I'm excited about your next. I love all of you from the bottom of my heart. And if you know me, you know I ain't lying. I love you and I don't even know all you. But I love you and I'm glad to be in your presence and I don't count it robbery. Guys, have a great day. Once again, look in the mirror. Check yourself. And be all right with it. Check you before somebody else have to. Love y'all. Bye.